Our next guest today is Rick Wagner, who and Richie Hamilton, our guests, who are with Habitat for Humanity. Rick, you are the president, and Richie, you are the vice president. Correct?
Yes.
And this is our my new Kentucky home, Habitat for Humanity, which includes Marion, Nelson, and Washington counties.
Yes.
Correct? Right.
Right.
Well, I'm just delighted to have you all here today because the Habitat is near and dear to my heart. So, as I was telling you, Rick, I actually was involved with the beginnings of Habitat in these three counties. I served on the steering committee for that with the Sisters of Nazareth, the Dominican Sisters, the Sisters of Charity, and the Brothers of Gethsemane. So I served with a lot of very fabulous people who were instrumental in getting that established. And Alona and Pat Burdett, I don't know if you've ever met them, but they were the ones who actually helped us. Pat, I guess, was the first president and helped us get it started and move forward. And I served on the board 6 years, so I know a lot about Habitat, and I've wondered what was going on with Habitat, and when we're going to get our next house in Washington County. So I'm just delighted you all can be here to help me to get me up to date.
Be glad
Thanks
to.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Well, we're going to start the selection process a little bit earlier this year after the problems we had in Marion County, getting the information out and getting the process going. We decided instead of starting in November, we're going to start at the end of September with the very first announcement that we're going to have an information meeting on how to apply for it. And then at that meeting, we'll have a short screening process. If you meet all the requirements, the income, family size, the need, etc., and you're willing to reveal your financial information, which seems to be a stopping point for some people. If you've done it all correctly, then we'll go into the big application and give them a month or so, 6 weeks to fill that out, and then come back in and sit down and we'll go over it to make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. My experience in the last 2 years has been that it's the financial information, whether it's for a Habitat home application or for a home repair application, seems to be a stumbling point. Folks are, I guess, scared to let that information out, but we protect it. It's under lock and key. It's not left laying around anywhere. So we're very conscientious about protecting their information.
now that is, okay, so like in Washington County, Richie, this last year, I thought we were going to do a house, but I think there were some complications there. Is that correct?
Yeah, there were some things that went on that didn't get, processed quickly enough. So what we decided to do is we're still going to do the build, but the build's coming in 2017. So
okay.
We just finished up a build in Marion County. That one was done, and the home dedication and things were done last month for that home, and everything was approved. And we, it was great, wasn't it, Rick? It was really great.
Real nice. It was a warm Sunday afternoon, and we had a good crowd. About 30 people turned out. The young lady is tickled to death.
Right. So now we're here, and we get ready to the process of doing it here in Washington County. And we're looking, and the house will be built this year on East High Street.
So we are here in Washington County now.
Yeah.
Have you done the application?
No,
for 2017 you mean?
Right, 2017.
Okay.
The applications, as Rick said, will start out in September.
Okay.
And then we'll get all the information together with those, and we'll screen those and look and see how many are interested, and we'll go, as a board, we'll look over those applications and we'll choose a recipient for the one that will be built in 2017.
Now, is there a family selection committee?
There will be a family selection committee. Typically, we'll ask the members of the board who wants to participate, but in this case, we would expect the Washington County members all to participate.
I see.
You get 5 or 6 from Washington County and 1 or 2 from the other counties to start the selection process.
And that will be advertised maybe on Channel 6 and in the Springfield Sun. I'm not sure how.
We'll put a note out to as many churches and organizations as we can too about the dates and the time and the location of the meeting.
Okay.
Right.
That will be an informational meeting to do an initial application, and from there, then they will get once that's approved, then they'll get another application that's more detailed about the financial aspect.
It's a financial, you have to proof of income. We have to follow HUD guidelines for income based on family size and the actual income as far as part of the need process. And like I said, the finances seem to be a problem with some folks about sharing what they're doing, whether they're embarrassed or they're got something else going on, I don't know. But I've seen several home repair applications drop out when I told them I got to see last year's taxes to see what your income is, and it stops. Now, last year or before last with the Marion County bill, we didn't have any issues with that. The 4 families that got past the initial screening, they all cooperated and provided the information.
So you're doing a home repair project currently?
We have several that we do, not just here in Washington County, but in Marion and Nelson County. But we have a project that's coming up here soon, and we're working on that. And it's, they have to follow the guidelines just as well as, if they were doing their home application, just as well with their income and filling out the application. And so there's rules and regulations to that part too.
Right.
And for that is, we see what their need is, what they need in their house that needs to be repaired, such as a roof, or maybe the flooring, or of some nature in their house, something that's really needed and that their house can be improved with. And that's what we work with.
So do they make application on that anytime, or do you run an act?
They can see me, or they can see Rick or any of the board members, and we can give them the application, and they can fill that portion out, and it comes back to us, and then we review it as a board to get approval and see what the need is of that individual and see what they're needing for their home.
And that could be, though, anytime, or is that just once a year?
Anytime. Most of the ones that we've gotten in the last year have come from healthcare representatives like Humana people or community care people asking questions about how do we do this. Well, let me know your name and email, and I will send you the application to pass on to the family. And then we ask that when they complete the application that it be mailed to our post office box so the secretary can record receipt of it. This handing things off without tracking, something gets lost, and I have lost one personally because I put it in the wrong place, but it happens. But we try and track them all and try and respond in a timely manner. But we have to do our vote at our meetings usually. So if you get it to me the first of the month, we'll know something by the middle of the month. If you get it to me in the middle of the month, it's going to be the middle of the next month. Getting the board
Because you have a board meeting once a month, what, the 4th?
the second Thursday of the month.
The second Thursday of the month? I was trying to think when we used to have them. But anyway, second Thursday of the month. And of course, I know that you alternate on houses. What it used to be, I don't know if it still is, a house in, say, Marion County, then Nelson County, then Washington County, So you still rotate like that?
Okay.
Rotating basis.
Okay. And you still have the 4 board members from Washington, 4 from, how does that work?
Well, actually, we just one went off the board, and so we lost one, and actually we got 2 new ones, and I'm new as well as a board member because I came on in October of last year, so we got a new one. We just will come to us this month to our board meeting, so. We're getting the work.
Who is that now? Someone else from Washington County?
It is.
So right now then we have you and then one other person?
Well, actually we have 3 others.
Oh, 3 others. Now who else from Washington County serves on the board?
We have Colette.
Colette Hill?
Colette
Leet. From Washington County. Okay.
And then Paul, what is Paul?
Paul Samoa.
Okay, yes.
So Paul's there, and then we have a new one coming on, and that's Miss Judy Stateman.
Oh, I'm so glad. Julia had expressed interest in that, and I told her, I think, was maybe to contact you or was the other. And that was before I knew you were even on, Richie.
Yeah.
So good, because Julia has had an interest. I think she'll be a great board member.
And we've provided applications for the people within Washington County, and we're waiting to see if any of them come back.
Applications
To join the board.
to join the board?
Right. When we do a build, it's a good idea to have 6 to 7 people because there's a lot of work involved with the selection process, with the build process, and organizing things and keeping it running. With 6 or 7 people, you can distribute the workloads a lot better than having 2 or 3 people.
Right. I know, been there, done that. Actually, I did the first house in Washington County, and I wasn't very good at it because I learned a whole lot about building that I sure didn't know before. And then, of course, you have to wait on contractors because they're doing all this voluntarily, and so you have to be on their schedule. And that makes it kind of difficult sometimes. I know a house, and then you've got weather conditions, and so you just never know how long it's going to take to get the house built and who's. But aren't we lucky to have so many contractors and subcontractors and people that do all those different things? I know my brothers-in-law here helped with many of those. Joe Pat Hayden did the heating and the cooling and the, whatever you call all that, electrical and.
Have different levels of involvement. Some just donate their time, some donate time and materials and bring their labor in, don't charge. So we get out, when it comes time to get ready to plan the build, start soliciting contractors for their support to whatever level or measure they think they can provide. And then try and put the plan together.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our county's a little smaller, so we don't have as many, but I guess you're thinking that's going to work out okay for this next build?
I think so. I think we'll work out just fine. We're working on our bash for Washington County.
Good,
Our
the tasting bash.
We're looking at the date of, it hadn't been set in stone, but we're looking at the date of October 19th for that bash. So this is he's a great guy. This guy keeps me informed. He keeps me on top of things. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for him. So
Well, I told him if he'd take the vice presidency, I'd follow along with him, give him everything I learned this year and stay with him next year. I wouldn't drop him off the edge of the cliff.
How long have you been on the board?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
Part of the problems that Richie alluded to earlier is we had 3 or 4 resignations within a month, which kind of threw us into chaos, which slowed down the Marion County bill, which slowed down the Washington County bill. So instead of trying to do something halfway, we all agreed that we'll shove it off 1 year, and that's where it goes, is Washington County for the next bill.
I see.
So we're better organized now, and hopefully we get a few more board members. Life will be better.
And we work hard at what we do. The individual volunteer, we work hard, and we donate our time, and I'm always busy, but I make sure that I get in there to do what I need to do.
Are you going to get on that house and do some hammering, Richie?
No, we better leave that
To somebody else?
that's more qualified to do that.
Well, because it is really good that you get all these people involved. And of course, not only do you need board members, I suspect you also need committee members, like family selection, unless the board members are gonna do that too, but then, I guess you still have the nurturing committee that goes to the home and follows up. Do you
That's part
still
of
have that?
The general bill committee, selection committee process, that's one committee now that kind of follows through on that, instead of having a whole bunch of different people. It worked out fairly well for the Marion County process. I came into it at the end of the Nelson County. They already had the build. I came into it the month of the dedication, so I didn't have that experience with them, but I've learned from the Marion County through Habitat International about some of the things we're supposed to be doing.
And vice versa for me. I came in the end of the bill to Marion County. So, so it kind of worked out for that. But it's, things happen with homes, and then, you got to look at things that go wrong, and you got to fix those issues and things. And Rick's he stays on top of things with me, and if I got something, I stay on top with him. So we always communicating with each other and the board members to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Right.
Because if you're not on the same page, it doesn't work out very good.
And that's exactly right. So you have to be communicating. Is the nurturing committee the same for every county, or do you have a nurturing committee in each county?
As per the build in that county, it will be mostly those people following the Habitat processes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to take a formal class, like a financial management class. I can't think of the guy's name.
Oh, I know.
But that's one thing the person could
Dave
do.
Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey class, you can do it online, or you can actually do it at a seminar they hold, or there's other things like home safety, home maintenance. There's different things you can do for that. But we try and give them all the information, because these people are usually first-time homeowners.
Right.
in the home in Lebanon, the day the girl moved in, I got a call from her saying, I've got my washer and dryer in here, but I don't have any place to put the drain pipe for the washer. That little recess in there, hole in the bottom in the middle? No. Go in there, please, and take a pencil and stab it. And she did. It was a little bitty plastic knockout. That's all it was. But she was new to the process, so it's a very valid question if you've never been there.
Right,
So we try
right,
simple things, complex things, you got to get the contractor or the trade to take care of that.
right, right.
Some things we can do and some things we need help doing.
Right.
Yeah,
It's always something that we always need help doing.
yeah,
You know, and people are good to lend a helping hand to help us do it. And that's the great thing about it.
yeah,
And, you know, here in Washington County, we got some great folks. I know we got some great folks. And you
Yep.
know as well, we got great folks here
Yep.
who will help. And they'll come along and we'll get the house built. And the family that is chosen for the house, it'll be a rewarding house for those individuals to grow up, kids to grow up in.
And people need to understand too that, you know, this isn't a free house. You pay for the house. You have a house payment just like any homeowner.
Exactly.
And, you know, that, maybe you would like to explain that.
The process for paying for it, the mortgages come through the Kentucky Housing Corporation. The mortgage is actually based on the cost to build the home. So the more donations of materials and equipment and time and effort, then the lower that cost. And it's basically an interest-free loan set up over 20 years. And if we build a home and the property value administrator looks at it and says it's a $70,000 home, but there's only a $50,000 mortgage, then we have a ghost mortgage for that $20,000 in equity. And as the family pays off the original loan, the ghost equity goes away, so they accrue all that equity in a period of time. So it's a really good deal.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And the other thing that we ran into is a lot of folks don't understand, first-time homeowners, that your home insurance and your property taxes, because of this process, they're in escrow and part of your payment. When the young lady in Lebanon got her first house payment bill, she was shocked to see it was $60 higher than what she anticipated. We had to explain to her that that's your escrow. And then she was okay with that.
yeah,
It gets back to first-time homeowners have a lot of questions. Sometimes we catch them, and sometimes we don't.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because you got your insurance and everything in there. So that they don't have to get their own insurance, that's all included, correct?
Well, they have to make it with the broker to get the insurance, but then that payment comes out of the escrow account. They don't actually pay it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And then, so, now, you usually are building, of course, I guess it depends on the size of the family, but usually it's a 2 or 3 bedroom.
usually it's a 3-bedroom, 1,100 square foot, give or take a little bit, depending on the family size.
And you get to pick out your own, I think it's pretty standard, the house plan, but then there are a few little things that you get to do to kind of make it,
Paint colors and the type of flooring, we have budgets set up for those, and if you stay within that budget, then you can go to a home improvement place or Lowe's or other store and select your flooring material or your paint or your cabinets, but you've got to stay within the budget that's set up. If you wanted a beige kitchen or a brown kitchen or a bright yellow kitchen, as long as you stay within the budget, we'll work with you on that.
And the ranges and the refrigerator,
Appliances, the other part
you
of
know,
it.
of that appliances part. Let's show us what color
yeah,
that you still on there.
yeah, yeah. Well, it definitely has to be self-cleaning now. They do get that, I'm sure they do, because I think they're all self-cleaning now. But, so, okay, so, now, who are the board members in Nelson and Marion currently?
In Nelson County, it's myself, David Fry, Daniel Greenwell, Martha Nest, and there's a young lady at the bank, Town and Country, who's named Kristen Ross.
Okay,
And there's one other that I sent an application to. I'm hoping she comes on board. And then in Marion County, we have John and Marianne Vandermeer, Barbara Ivy, Julia Bell, and one other person whose name escapes me right now. My memory is not that good. I turned 65 here shortly.
so you've got a lot of time you can spend on this habitat. You're retired.
I am retired.
So that's really good. Yeah. Of course, Richard, you're working in
Still working.
in Bardstown.
Yeah, I work here
That's
on
where-
Tuesdays.
Okay.
I'm here on Tuesday.
For the
Kentucky Career Center.
Kentucky Career Center. So, and because people need to know who they can contact sometimes about, I think, these things. And I know you do advertise a little bit, but it's just good to put a face with the organization. And especially, here in Washington County now, I can just put you, Richie, right with that if I have any questions. So, because people might, stop you on the street and say, hey, I'm interested in perhaps getting that Habitat house. What can I do and how can I apply? One thing I think is important that people need to understand is that you have to get your finances in order, because you do have to make a house payment. And
that's one of the things in the application is a means test about what your income is versus what the mortgage might be, as well as your other financials. You got to know what you can do, so we know what you can do.
Yeah. So if you owe a lot of bills and you're already making a lot of payments, then most likely you're not going to be able to make that mortgage payment, which usually that runs about how much a month?
Neighborhood of about $260, $280 for a $50,000 mortgage.
Wow.
Dirt cheap, isn't it?
That is dirt cheap. I didn't remember it being that low.
It's
That's
zero
great.
interest, and like I said, it's a 20-year based off of the actual bill cost. So, the more you can get donated, the more help you get to come in to paint and to do things like that, the more you cut down on the cost.
Because the family does, well, that's right. And the family has to do so much sweat equity. In other words, you can explain that, Richie, that
They have to put in the hours and times that's needed in order enough to finish the bill. Okay, there's requirements through the Habitat Board that allows them to put in so many hours of equity times sweat equity in order enough to be the homeowner. So
Yeah.
that has to be done and completed.
how many hours is that usually?
Rick,
It's around 400 hours, but they can have brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, immediate family help
help
out.
them out to get
Yeah.
those hours in.
Yeah.
They need to do.
So they could do all the painting, say, perhaps, if they're good at painting.
And
And,
just cleaning up around the outside of the house as the day-to-day goes on, that time counts because that's work that's got to be done. And if they're doing that, then the contractors can stay busy with the other stuff.
yeah,
So there's a lot that can be done even if you're not a skilled trade.
yeah.
Holding the water cooler doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Well, and then they do have to go through the Dave Ramsey class, you're saying?
A financial management
A
class.
financial management class. I think that's really important. So I'm glad to know that that's a, part of it too, because like you said, these are first-time home buyers, and sometimes it's not always easy to include that mortgage payment in your monthly budget.
True.
So now, if someone's interested in contacting you all about a home improvement or about or getting an application for the upcoming building in Washington County, I guess you won't be able to get that yet. That won't be able to get that, and that'll be a while. But say for a home improvement or something they really need, who would they contact on that then?
They can call me here in Washington County. They can call me, and my number is 859-481-4990, and I'll be glad to give him the application. And actually, I just had one to call me Saturday, home improvement application. So
I need to provide you with the new form, not the last one I
yeah,
gave
you
you.
gave me an old version.
Yeah.
We have a new version, so
Okay.
it's come out. So, but that's okay. We'll give them the right forms that they need, and then we'll get it turned in. And like I said, the board has to approve them, look over them, and you have to have the information that they need. But as again, they can call me at 859-481-4990. I'll be more gladly to give them one.
And then, and if they wanted to contact you in Nelson County, because this program is seen in Marion, Nelson, and Washington counties, so in Nelson County, they could contact you.
Yes, my home phone number is 502-348-2664. That'll generally get you the answering machine.
Okay,
'Cause I'm seldom in the house, so I got a woodworking shop that takes up a lot of my time
I see.
as a hobby.
Okay, so that's good information. And then we want everybody to know about the tasting bash that's coming up
We're looking at October the 19th.
October the 19th, and we'll be getting more information on that we can get on Channel 6 and in the newspaper. So I know that a lot of the clubs around here all donate food for that. That's a heck of a deal. I think it costs what to get in?
$10.
Well, you can't beat that. I think maybe you ought to go up on price.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, but $10 is what it hadn't been set in stone, but usually it's around there. But we have to all get together and, decide exactly what we're gonna do. But usually in times past, it was $10, but as time goes by, things increase and,
Yeah, they really do.
but it's for a good cause.
It's for a really good cause. And the food's wonderful, and everybody donates food for it, so all the churches, all the clubs, so I know our BPW club does, and anyway, I always look forward to it. I'm glad that's coming up.
Right, it's coming.
Well, I just want to tell you all how thankful I am to have you on the show today because, Habitat for Humanity is a very important organization, and that's built a lot of homes in these 3 counties. I don't know how many houses it is altogether now.
22.
22. Since it started in 1990.
90 was the actual first build, but that was in addition to a house in New Hope for a lady over there that had several kids with 3 rooms to live in.
Yeah,
And then the next year in 91, they actually built a house.
over here in Washington County. Yep,
And I think that's
91.
on Washington Avenue. All right.
It was up on Armory, on Maxwell Hill.
Right.
Yep. So, anyway, but I'm just delighted that you all are volunteering your time for that cause, and we always want to encourage other people, I'm sure, to join Habitat and be involved with that organization.
Oh, yeah.
And they can contact either one of you all for that as well.
Yeah, and we'll give you a job description up front so you can see what you're getting into before you sign up. It's not a lot, basically about an hour in a month, unless you're doing the build process. So there is a little travel sometimes involved back and forth to Barstown, to Springfield, to Lebanon, but that's all part of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to thank you all very much for doing that and for being here today with us on Channel 6, Central Kentucky TV. And I look forward to hearing more about all of this in the near future.
It's coming. Wait on it.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.